So a queue. Let me actually add this as a separate class. This is going to have an array list of strings, I think. So a set of labels. Too big. There we go. I need to import array list because, you know, that's the way things are. When I create a new queue, it's actually not going to do anything at the moment. What I do need to have is 3 methods for this. So much like push and pop, there's 2 special things for queue. Public void enqueue, where I pass in a string and I just add it immediately to the queue. Array lists add things to the end always. So when I pull things out, public string dequeue, I guess technically I don't need the public since they're all in my project, but there you go. This will always remove things from the front of the queue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some string and say that's the 0 index. I'm going to remove that so it actually deletes it, and then I'm going to return s. The last thing I probably should have, just to make sure that people can use this, is empty. And it turns out array list have an is empty already, and so I can just pass that along. All right, now that I have this, I can use it in my panel. So actually, it's in my graph creator. There we go. So I'm going to have a queue I make here. I can use the same name if I want to. And I also want an array list of strings here, which is my connected list. Yes, import that one here too. So to begin with, what I start with is the current node, so whatever is in first. So let's see, I'm kind of doing the same sort of thing as node exists, except I actually want to get the particular node when I pass in a string. Get node actually is a pretty good name for it. It's just that instead of using an x and a y, I'd like to give it a string and have it give me back what I want. I'm actually going to use the same name. So here's an interesting thing. Here's a getNode method. Here's a getNode method. How does it know which one to use when I call getNode? What it does is it actually looks at what's in the parentheses. So if there's 2 integers separated by a comma, it uses this one. If there's a string in between, it uses this one. This is called the signature of a method, and that's how it can use the same method over and over again and give you different code. Regardless, I need a for loop that's going to walk through this whole thing. And I'm going to return null if I don't get any of these things. Much like this one, I'm also going to get a particular node out of the list. But instead of checking a radius or something like that, I'm going to check to see if the string s is the same as the node's label. If it is, we return that node and we're done. If we get through all of those and we haven't gotten any, then we return null. So first of all, I need to take this connected list and add in the first of those nodes, the thing that's in this first node's text field. So I'm going to take the panel, call getNode on this, and first well, not the keyword this, but on the first node. And then that's the node I need, and so I need to actually get the label off that guy. I suppose I could do an array list of nodes as well. It doesn't really matter either way, as long as I'm consistent. So here's an interesting thing. So I have a string here. I get the node from the panel that matches, and then I get the label off of it. So panel.getNode is all of this .getLabel. It always goes from left to right when doing the dot operator. Now I need to add in all of the things connected to this particular node. Let's see, do I have anything that gets me the index? I have the adjacency matrix. I think the thing to do is actually to have it return all of the nodes that are connected. Probably actually all of the strings. So I'm going to return an array list of strings, which are my labels. Get connected labels. So if I hand this guy a label, I want it to give me back an array list of all the things that it's connected to. So going through the adjacency matrix, I need to take the column that matches this label. So this is actually going to be similar to getNode, except I need the index of where that thing was located. So I'm going to go ahead and just take that code as a baseline, call this guy getIndex, and return an int instead. So instead of returning a particular node, what I'm actually going to pass back is A. And just in case something goes wrong, I'll pass back a -1, which can't be an index to anything if, for whatever reason, I give it a string that doesn't exist. So I need to have the index of the particular label that I'm passing in. So this label, I pass that in, and that's going to be index B. Actually, I don't need this to happen every time through the for loop. I need that to happen in general. Now I'm going to use the adjacency matrix and find anything that's true. So if adjacency dot get, let's use B first, dot get A. That's a Boolean value, capital B Boolean, but it'll figure that out. If that's a true, then I need to add this to an array list, which I have yet to create. And I have the array list to return. Now I need to grab the corresponding, the A thing, out of my adjacency matrix. So this will actually be nodelist.add, nodelist.add.get a.getLabel. So taking the corresponding index in this adjacency table, so let's say that we have this column here. What I'm going to do is, this is the one that I'm going to go down. That's what this B value is going to be. A is going to be each of the things in turn. So if I find a spot that's true, I'm going to go out into the node list and grab that particular guy's label. So in that case, it's going to be the first node's label. The next time through that I find a true, I'm going to grab that node's label and put it in. Once I'm all done, I'm going to return that array list. Now there's a slight problem in that I'm going to return myself in here, so I have to watch out for that particular problem. So get a dot get label dot equals label. So this is a problem. If this happens, I want this to not happen, the whole thing to become false. So I'm going to put a not sign here. Or alternately, I could say if this whole thing is false. You're not allowed to be connected to yourself in these particular problems. Otherwise, you will get an infinite loop of yourself connecting to yourself, connecting to your... Yeah, you get the idea.